Welcome to NILI Chanuka Sparks. My name is Kupchik, and tonight's Dvar Torah I would like to give Le'ilui Nishmas Avi Mori Chaim Yisroel ben Avram HaKohen. My Abba's bar mitzvah was Shabbos Chanukah, and in those days a bar mitzvah boy read the Haftorah. Therefore I have chosen to speak about the Haftorah of Chanukah, which is from Zechariah, known as Roni V'Simchi, the first words of the Haftorah. Haftorahs are chosen either for their thematic similarities to the Parsha, or to the relevance of the holiday on the calendar. Therefore, one would think that a logical choice for Shabbos Chanukah would be the building of the first Beis Hamikdash and the menorah as described when it was done by Shlomo HaMelech. However, Chazal chose Zechariah. Historically, Zechariah is known as one of the last Nevi'im who prophesied at the end of Galus Bavel, when the Persian Empire had taken over the Babylonian Empire, and gave permission for the Jewish people to return to the land of Israel and begin rebuilding the temple. However, the Jewish people are met with political opposition by the non-Jews currently living in Israel, the Shomronim. The Shomronim petitioned to the Persian Empire that the Jews should not be allowed to rebuild the Beis Hamikdash, and the permits they were given were rescinded. This is the backdrop of our Nevuah. The Nevuah of Zechariah is extremely optimistic and hopeful. It begins with the word Roni V'Simchi, rejoice and be happy. The Jewish people have reason to rejoice and be happy because Hashem will be with them. But only if Im Zrachai Telech V'Im Mishmortai Tishmor. Hashem assures them that I will be with you and you will be happy if you follow in my ways and keep my Torah. The last portion of our Haftorah is a vision that Zechariah receives of a menorah, a golden menorah with 7 branches and an olive tree on either side of the menorah. Rashi there explains that the menorah is completely self-sufficient. There is no need for human intervention. The 2 olive trees on either side of the menorah miraculously drip olive oil into the bowls on top of the menorah in order to fill the menorah. However, Zechariah in the Psukim admits that he does not understand what this imagery of the menorah means. The Malach, who is giving Zechariah this nevuah, explains that it means that Zerubbabel, who is the descendant of Beis David, will eventually be successful and return to the land of Israel, and that the Beis Hamikdash also will eventually be rebuilt, even though right now it does not seem possible. The words Lo b'chayil v'lo b'koach ki im beruchi amar Hashem tzvakot are added. The rebuilding of the Beis Hamikdash will not be because of Jewish strength and Jewish might, chayil v'koach, but because Hashem wants it to happen, ki im beruchi, because of my spirit. The menorah, with its own personal olive tree, without human intervention, is beyond the scope of natural order. So too will the rebuilding of the Beis Hamikdash. And indeed, that is exactly what happens. After the story of Purim, the Persian Emperor Daryavesh gives permission for the building of the second temple. So besides the obvious reference to the menorah, what is the connection to Chanukah? This nevuah is describing Hashem's promise to help the building of the Beis Hamikdash when politically all odds were against the Jewish people. The Persian government allowed themselves to be influenced by the Shomronim, and there was a stop order given on the building of the Beis Hamikdash. So too, it is a central theme to the story of Chanukah, that when things seemed hopeless, Hashem ensured the victory of the Jewish people. Giborim biyad ma'atim, tmeim biyad tahorim. But why was the menorah chosen as this symbol of hope? In Parshas Baloscha, for which this Haftorah is also read, we may find the answer. It is famously asked why the stories of the Karbanos of the Nesiim brought during Chanukas HaMishkan immediately precedes Aaron's commandment to light the menorah. Rashi there answers that Aaron felt bad that the Leviim did not bring Karbanos during Chanukas Habayis. Hashem responds, but you have the mitzvah of the menorah. Don't feel bad. The Ramban there asks, Why didn't Hashem point out all the other jobs that the Kohanim had? The Avodas Yom Kippur? Why specifically the menorah? The Ramban answers by saying, Hashem is consoling Aaron and says, Aaron, the karbanos will end when the Beis Hamikdash is not standing, but the lights of the menorah will continue because of your descendants, the Hashmonaim, through who Hashem will allow a miracle to occur. The menorah will continue to burn in their time of the second Beis Hamikdash, but till today, the lights of the menorah of Hanukkah burn in every Jewish home. When we light the menorah in the year 2020, we remind ourselves of the imagery of the self-sufficient menorah in the Nevuah of Zechariah, when all seemed lost at the beginning of the Second Temple, and the unlikely victory and relighting of the menorah during the times of the Hashmonaim. When we light our menorah, we know that Hashem is in our corner. He will make what seems hopeless, hopeful, what seems impossible, possible. Wishing you all a Chanuka Sameach.